Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a beautiful young princess named Snow White. Her skin was as white as snow, her lips were as red as roses, and her hair was as black as ebony. Snow White's beauty was known throughout the land, but her life wasn't easy. Snow White's mother, the queen, had passed away when she was a child, and her father, the king, had remarried. The new queen, who was very vain and wicked, was extremely jealous of Snow White's beauty. Every day, the queen would stand before her magic mirror and ask, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And every day, the mirror would reply, "You, O queen, are the fairest of them all." The queen was pleased, knowing she was the most beautiful woman in the land. But as Snow White grew older, she became even more beautiful. One day, when the queen asked her mirror the same question, the mirror gave a different answer. "You, O queen, are fair, 'tis true, but Snow White is even fairer than you." The queen was furious. Her jealousy grew, and she decided she must get rid of Snow White forever. The wicked queen ordered her huntsman to take Snow White deep into the forest and kill her. She gave him strict instructions to bring back Snow White's heart as proof. However, when the huntsman took Snow White into the forest, he couldn't bring himself to harm her. She was so kind and innocent that his heart softened. "Run, Snow White," he said. "Run far away and never return to the castle." Snow White, frightened but grateful, ran as fast as she could into the dark forest. She wandered for hours, lost and alone, until she came upon a small cottage. The door was open, and she peered inside. The cottage was small but cozy, with 7 little chairs, 7 little beds, and 7 little plates on the table. Snow White was so tired from her journey that she lay down on one of the tiny beds and soon fell fast asleep. As night fell, the 7 dwarfs who lived in the cottage returned home from working in the mines. They were surprised to find Snow White sleeping in their home. When she woke up, Snow White told the dwarfs her story and asked if she could stay with them. The kind-hearted dwarfs, Doc, grumpy, happy, sleepy, bashful, sneezy, and dopey, agreed to let her stay. "You can stay with us," said Doc, "but you must be careful. The queen is very wicked, and she will try to find you." Snow White promised to be careful, and she spent her days happily living with the dwarfs, helping them with their chores and keeping the cottage clean. Meanwhile, back at the castle, the queen asked her mirror again, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" To her horror, the mirror replied, "You, O queen, are fair, 'tis true, but Snow White, beyond the mountains, with the 7 dwarfs, is still 1,000 times fairer than you." The queen was furious. She knew Snow White was still alive, and she vowed to destroy her. Using her dark magic, the queen disguised herself as an old peddler woman. She created a poisoned apple, so deadly that one bite would put Snow White into an eternal sleep. The queen traveled to the dwarf's cottage and knocked on the door. "Apples. Fresh apples," she called. "Would you like one, dearie?" Snow White, seeing the old woman, had no idea it was the queen in disguise. She kindly invited her in and admired the shiny red apple. "This is no ordinary apple," the queen said. "One bite, and all your dreams will come true." Snow White, unaware of the danger, took a bite of the apple. As soon as she did, she fell to the ground, fast asleep.